What's up, guys? Phoenix here, and today for you I have Patrick Hoban's Dragunity Ruler deck profile from YCS Toronto, where he top forward this past weekend. Now, this build is a little bit different from my own. Overall, it's personal preference on card choices. Like me personally, I can't stand maining Upstart Goblin. I just don't like it. I don't like the randomness of it, so mine are actual real cards mained, like 2MST and something else. But overall, the deck lists are pretty much really close, so I don't think I'll be putting a deck profile up of my own for a little while. But anyway, monsters, there's 16 with 3 ducks, only 2 phalanx. If you put more than 2 phalanx in here, it becomes a dead draw later in the game, because you can circulate into it so easily via the ravines, the Tempest, and Tempest has so many different ways to remove it in this build, via the other dragons, the 7-star swords, the 1 gold sark, what have you. Only 1 copy of Mistleton. It's bad in a lot of the scenarios where you're losing, so 1 is fine. Is massively searchable as well. 3 copies of Redox, 3 copies of Tempest, and then 3 copies of Blaster, and the 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal. One difference between my list and his is that I'm actually maining the 1 Zephyros, simply just because it lets me have those scenarios where I just open Ravine Zephyros and just win. Or if I open, any way to get into a Ravine Phalanx Mistleton or Ducks Phalanx Mistleton, I can, set the Red Eyes up at 28, which is relatively meaningful, especially if you're playing mirror matches and whatnot. For the spells, 3 Dragon Ravine, the 1 Gold Sark, only 2 Terraforming. You only need the 2 simply because the deck has so much draw power. Even in my build that I'm not running Upstarts in, I'm only running 2 Terraformings as well. There's just way too much draw power. You get into it and you don't want it to clog. 2 cards of Consonance, you only have 2 phalanxes. Makes sense, right? 3 Sacred Star, 7 Stored, draw card, Pot of Greed, basically. This deck has Pot of Greed, 3 of them, so it's fun. He ran 3 Upstarts. In my build, it's 2 MST and the 1 Zephyros. I mean, it's pretty much the main difference. And then the 1 Book of Moon. And he ran 9 Traps, 3 Reckless Greed. You can easily resolve multiple of these. And when you do, you basically just go so far ahead in card advantage that you just win out of sheer principle. 2 copies of Vandy's Emptiness mained. These are something else in my build, I don't know, but I might swap them to these. I might put Vanity's Emptiness into my regular Dragunity build, simply because it's such a good, solid, well-rounded card that just lets you unfair the games. 1 Trap Stun, just insurance for when he's going off. He can just draw phase Trap Stun or standby phase Trap Stun and then just not have to worry about anything if he's going for game. The 1 Bottomless, the 1 Warning, and then Return from the Different Dimension. Return from the Different Dimension is the most broken card this deck has access to, and you can draw into it incredibly quickly. And basically, you can just do stuff like bring back a Phalanx and a Ducks that have been removed on Tempest, or bring back the Mistleton and the Phalanx, or bring back the Red Eyes that was removed off a bigger dragon, along with 2 other dragons or 3 other dragons, and you can just make so many different plays for absolutely free. It's pretty insane. For the extra deck, he extra 2 Draco Sacks. I never make this, so I only play 1, but he played 2. The 1 Big Eye, the Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger, and the Heretic Dragon King of Atum. Personally, in my build, I cut the 2nd Draco Sack for the Bouncer, because being able to make Bouncer is just, it's really good for, being able to win games, especially since neither one of our decks mains hand traps. For the Synchros, Scrap Dragon, 2 Stardusts, Colossal Fighter, and 2 Crimson Bladers. 2 Crimson Bladers is pretty good because it allows you to, if something happens to the first one, you can reestablish a Blader lock. The 1 copy of Dragunity Knight Gatorage, and then the 3 Vajrayanas. For his side deck, 2 Veilers, 3 MST, 3 Xyz Encore, LOL, Evil Swarms. The 1 Dark Hole, the 1 Eradicator, 2 Decree, and 3 Needle Sealing. Needle Sealing is really good against Infernities. After they've done their combo, or even beforehand, and when they're in the middle of it, as soon as they either draw for turn or they have a card in their hand, you just flip the Needle Sealing and get and clear the monster row. It's absolutely, devastating when you can do that, because when they draw for turn, they have a card in their hand. All their barriers and their breaks and everything are dead. But anyway, guys, this is the deck list overall. I'm a big fan of it, but as I've said before in one of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro marathoning videos, I can't remember which one, I really just cannot get behind this deck fully, strictly because it doesn't seem to have as many options, to wade through different matchups as the pure Dragunity build does. Now, this deck can just plow through back rows like it means nothing, because as Patrick has said, these dragons literally cost nothing, and back rows cost a card. So you can just be oppressive and plow through back rows with these, especially if you want to main deck MSTs like I do in my build. But overall, the deck is really solid through playing it. Like I said, I run the Zephyros just because Patrick calls it a win more card, and I agree because I want to win more of my games. The hands that you do draw with this deck that are bad are the same hands that you can draw with regular Dragunities, where you just have multiple monsters. This deck, it's a little bit harder to play out of those bad hands, which is a little bit strange, but you have more draw power that you can potentially draw into more live cards to make those hands not bad. Small things like that differentiate the decks. Overall, I'm not completely sold on either build for this format. Personally, right now, I'm testing both of them. I'm keeping myself open-minded. But that may or may not change depending on anything specific that I see in the upcoming days. But, as always, guys, comment, rate, subscribe. Click on that if you have not. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you want me to do more of these deck analyses when there's like another YCS or something, let me know, because this is a surprisingly refreshing change of pace for videos than what I'm normally doing. And it feels good. It feels entitling. But, as always, guys, I believe I said click on that if you have not. I mean, it helps me make money for trying to get back into college. So, I mean, if you want to deny me that, that's fine. That's on you, though. But, as always, guys, take care.